Oh yeah! First try! As you guys know, I have been out searching for the ultimate FPV race wing. As I have always explained, I hate the arts and craftiness of building planes and foamies and all of that stuff. Like, I'd rather just kind of have the raw material of carbon and pre-assembled kits ready to put together, but for whatever reason I just can't get into plane building, and it just always is kind of tedious to me. So I have been looking for nearly ready to fly crafts that will allow me to get into fixed wing without really investing in it too much, which sounds really selfish and lazy, but you know what? That's the kind of consumer I am. So I have reached out to Horizon Hobby, and they have sent me a bind and fly version of their race wing called the Theory Type W. The Theory Type W is pretty interesting for a number of different reasons, which I'll show you later, but chief among them is that there are only 3 pieces to assemble. You take one wing and put it on, you take second wing and put it on, and then you have the body, which is that 3rd piece. And you don't have to glue anything, you don't have to paint anything. They give you some stickers if you want to put it on there, which I have done, and that should be pretty great. So I am running this on one of my 1300 milliamp 4-cell LiPos. The one I'm using is a Thunder Power Adrenaline series. It seems to be roughly the right size. I've already lost it. So that's what we're gonna throw up. So in my race wing, I have opted to leave the Spektrum system. So I have the Orange RX here, and it binds to the receiver in the thing. And that's because the receiver itself actually has a flight controller in it. So it has a gyro and some stabilization systems. So it has 3 different modes. One is acro, which is full control. There's no gyro enabled. There's a middle one, which is like advanced mode, and then there's a 3rd one, which is actually a landing and takeoff mode. So what it'll do is auto stabilize itself and keep it from tipping over while I launch it. So to launch, you've got an actual thing that you can grab here and kind of toss it, which is nice compared to other wings where you have to throw it like off the wing or something like that. So this makes it really easy to launch between that and the race mode. So here we go. And I didn't give enough throttle. All right, so I'm putting it back into landing mode. I've cut the throttle completely and I'm just holding back on the up elevator, and it comes in for a reasonably soft landing.
When we said goodbye, the world turned a darker shade. The dust settled down, stones changed color in the rain, but dark clouds, they turned to white, and sunlight hit my skin. I looked up and saw a new beginning now. 'Cause we came too far to give up. We can take our time and start up new. We'll be dancing through the darkness as long as we'll hold on to each other. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Cause we came too far to give up. We can take our time and start up new. We'll be dancing through the darkness as long as we'll hold on to each other. We'll be fine. You left me standing there, lost in a haze, but I cleared my.
Got it?
Dude, I couldn't see it from over here.
So I'm gonna go back to the bench and we'll get you a better overview of all of the features and whatnot that are inside of this thing. So stay tuned and check it out. So here's a really quick overview of the plane. So you kind of have this top piece, which is just a canopy that sits over the top of everything. It's made out of plastic, it's pretty bendy and flexy, and so it should hopefully take a decent bit of a beating. It comes with two. One has room for like a run cam, and the other one is just flat to the surface of the plane. There's a nice little mount for your FPV camera, so I just have the lens screwed on through the little hoop that comes with it. And then this is intended for a run cam to hook over it. Then I have a VTX here with just a really simple little wiring harness. This goes into the balance lead of my battery, and this goes into the camera. And so when I want to run FPV on the plane, I can just hook that up, no problem. Moving further down the plane, we have the Spektrum receiver. This receiver actually has a bit of a flight controller in it. It has a gyro and it has 3 different modes. Landing and takeoff mode, which is a very highly stabilized mode. Intermediate mode, which is basically like halfway between angle and horizon mode for quad people. And finally, it has what would be the equivalent of acro mode, where it gives you full range of motion, but the gyro is still active to try to help reduce obnoxious jitters from wind, for example. Then you can see that your 2 servos are installed back here. The motor is a 2205-2350 kV motor, and it came with this dowel bi-blade attached to it. When I got mine, I went ahead and attached some cool little green LEDs to the back so that they all light up real nice and pretty. And another feature of the wing is that it actually comes apart really easily. So if you need to travel with it, or if you need to replace a wing because you broke it, you can flip it over and there's these two buttons here in the bottom. And if you just push in, it'll click out and the wing comes apart. You can disconnect the servo over here. And this whole wing comes off, the whole wing assembly. And then you can see the servo lead is there, and there's a hole for the carbon fiber spar that goes through the middle. So you got the whole the spar right there. On this, might be hard to see here, let's try. In the foam, the connection orientation is labeled so that you always plug it in right. Then, if we flip this back over, you can pull off the other side, unplug the servo, two wings apart, and then you have the main body of the plane, which is all one assembly. So we'll just throw the canopy back on there to protect the rest of the electronics. And all of this would pack down really nicely into a carry-on or bag or whatever you needed to do with it. But then when you're ready to put it back together, just put the carbon spar through, put the wing on. Before you close it all the way up, get your servo all connected. If I didn't have as fat of hands as I do, then that would be better. Click. Other side. Just making sure I get my plug orientation right. Plug that in, click, and we're ready to fly. So this has been the Theory Type WFPV race wing. I am super impressed with it, between all of the features of the flight controller, as well as the wing disassembly and durability and replaceability and all of that. That comes together for a big win for me when it comes to learning how to fly planes and to have a reusable, durable body with which to crash and brake and learn how to fly over and over and over again faster. So thank you to Horizon Hobby for sending this out. I'm super excited about it, and I'm going to continue to fly it as much as I can because it is a blast.